Has your recording session ever started out something like this? Hey, you see the 57? The 57? Yeah, the snare mic. I don't know, hang on, let me look. You don't see it? I don't see no 57 in here, man. Hey, when's the last time you seen it? Oh, hang on. I got it, man, I got it. My bad, it's on the floor. We're good. Really? Hey man, I got nothing in my ears. Hey, you got anything now? No, still nothing. How about now? Nope. Ah, I got you now. I got it. Yeah, I got you loud and clear. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I got no click. No click. Should have a click. All right, hey, I think we're ready. We're ready, man. Let's go. Let's roll with it. Hey, what song we're gonna do? Ray here, welcome back to the channel. Now, if your recording sessions have ever started out something like that, well, I've got 5 tips to help it run a little bit smoother. You know what sparked this video is a few weeks ago, after we had built our new studio desk and got it in, we were going to do a recording session late Sunday afternoon, just record a few acoustic numbers. And
okay, I can't hear anything in the phone.
Yeah, you just listen out here. I don't have your ears working yet.
Okay.
I didn't realize I didn't have everything hooked back up, and I didn't check it. I went out of town. I actually got back in town about 30 minutes before the session, and it kind of reminded me of my checklist of some things that I normally do before recording sessions, and kind of sparked these ideas. So hope that you get something out of them. So we'll just kick it off right now with tip number 1. So if I'm recording another band, one of the things that I like to have in advance is all the song names. If they have the tempo, if they have the key of the song, which really doesn't matter to me, but it kind of does show how prepared they are or how much time that we've got to talk about discussing it. Also any of the songwriter credits, so I can have that information already. If they have any track art, I want to load that into the session ahead of time, so that'll be there. Also, you know, how many instruments you're recording. Is it going to be mostly acoustics or electric, so I can kind of get an idea of mic placement and things like that to be prepared for. If it's Second Chance Rising recording, we typically set aside a whole production day before we even think about recording. I'll typically introduce the songs. We will talk about the tempo of the song. I can't tell you how many times in the early days we would come in and we would talk about the tempo of the song for an hour to almost 2 hours sometimes, because just me trying to get it out vocally to see how fast we needed it, if the key fit my vocal okay. I'm not a great singer, I'm just average at best. So I really have to pay attention to what keys that I sing in. So I want to make sure I have that nailed down. And then we talk about some of the production of songs. Do we want to start it off, you know, maybe just an acoustic or piano, or do we want to come in hitting it hard? So we talk about the production so that we're somewhat prepared. Maybe we even do some chart sheets and we take some notes. So we have a good idea when we come in to record, we're ready to record. So tip number 2 is all about the producer or the engineer and myself getting the session ready so the band doesn't have to wait on me. They've supplied all this information, so it's not fair for them to wait on me. So I use Studio One PreSonus as my choice of DAW. So I will go in there and actually, you can see here, I will start the session. I will enter the song names. I will enter the songwriter credits. I will enter if I'm co-producing, I'll enter my name. If it is any artwork for the album or the CD or the track already, I will enter the artwork on there, so that all that will already be done. All the tracks are already set up in my template, so we're ready to go. So that just makes things run a lot smoother, so the band can concentrate on their music and they don't have to wait on me to get frustrated to set all that up. So I'll have each song set up with the tempos and everything ready to go, and that just makes things go so much smoother. So that leads us into tip number 3, and that's all about is the studio ready to go. And that's my responsibility 100%. So I want to make sure all the mic cables are already working and running. We've got enough headphones for everyone. typically our studio is set up where our drum stays mic'd up. There's headphones already in place. There's guitar cables, XLR cables run up against the wall so they can plug in any kind of processing gear. There's also XLR cables along the wall that we can stretch out. If I know they're going to do acoustics, I'll have the stands already up. If I'm thinking I might do a mid-side type of recording, then I'll have my ribbon mics out on the stands already. So, they don't have to wait on me to get stands out, find microphones and things like that. We can concentrate on music and we can be the most productive as we can. Also, I try not to have a lot of cables stretched out in the middle of the floor. I try to keep it nice, neat, and clean. That's really been a pet peeve of mine for the last several years. Nothing worse than somebody walking through the studio and hanging a mic cable on their foot, pulling a mic down, or pulling a guitar off of a stand. So really try to make sure that the cables are well organized. Just makes the session go so much smoother. So tip number 4 is all about organization and being professional and being efficient. So one of the things that I do is I make sure that everyone has a chart. They know the songs very well. If it's SCR recording, we've got that from our production meeting, and everybody's got, should have their notes on what we're doing on each song and what we're coming into with a general plan for that song. Now, things certainly do change, so we just have a notepad there handy so we can make notes. I also have what I call a track sheet, or it keeps me organized in the sheet. So I'll put the songs down the left side. You can see here, Road of Grace, Praise You Now, Bible and a Banjo, and then across the top, guitar, vocal, scratch tracks, drums, bass, acoustic guitar, electric guitars, keys, vocals, ear candy or overdubs, and then the mix. So as we're doing these, I'm checking these off, so it kind of keeps me from going back and forth, because I can tell you I have done this before. We finish up a session, wow, man, we forgot to record the acoustic guitar in the second verse, that melody line. So that just helps me stay, as an engineer and a producer, it helps me keep the session going and well organized, and I don't forget anything and have to go back as well. So, tip number 5 is just making things comfortable and making things professional. So we like to have some coffee out, some waters out, maybe even a few snacks. Try to maybe get a game plan before we start. Hey, do you guys want to take a break in between so many cuts, or do y'all want to take a lunch break? I mean, what's your plans? Because literally I can get so involved sitting over the desk, and it can be 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't even thought about eating lunch, and they're scared to say something because they don't want to stop because nobody else is saying anything. So just kind of maybe try to get some of that out of the way. Earl, and when he comes in, our drummer, he'll bring his whole jug of coffee and a whole jug of water. Sometimes he brings a case of water for everybody and sits it over by his drum kit, so everything's ready to go. But tip number 5 is just making people feel at home and feel comfortable, especially if they're not part of our band, Second Chance Rising, in the studio. Our bathroom is inside the house in a different part of where our studio is. So, I let them know that, hey, feel comfortable, make yourself at home, go down the hallway, bathroom's on the right, kind of thing. So, I don't want anybody, overfilling themselves and feeling uncomfortable about walking through. So it's all about, tip number 5 is making people feel at home, making them feel comfortable. That makes them feel productive, and just makes the session that much more enjoyable. So what's better than 5 tips? 6 tips. That's right, I got a bonus tip for you. And you know what that bonus tip is? And that's to everyone just paying attention during the session. We're making changes. Everything doesn't go always like you plan the songs out. So you always think of different ideas and people getting creative. And, sometimes us guitar players, I'm probably one of the world's worst. Guilty of it, is noodling around over there on the guitar, or the bass player, he's sliding around, he's just practicing some stuff, and me and the drummer, we're discussing how we're going to maybe drive into the second verse instead of doing some whole notes or diamonds, and we get ready to record the part, and guess what? Somebody that didn't take the notes down and remember that we were changing that, we have to re-record that. So, tip number 6 is just paying attention, with the session. Take the notes down. Don't think you're going to remember everything that you want to do. I'm definitely guilty of it too, but that's definitely a place in the recording sessions that I've seen that we can definitely save some time and be more productive. I hope that you got something out of these 5 tips and the bonus tip, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you found this video helpful, really appreciate you liking it. Consider subscribing. We have a lot of good things coming up, some new music coming up as well. We love you. God bless you, and keep looking up. We'll see you on the next video.